Do you have any NFL news we can discuss?
No.
Kyler Murray at 206 pounds.
Yeah, there's no way that's true.
Why not?
What? Have you seen what a 206-pound guy looks like at 5'9"?
Well, this was like when Vernon Hargrave showed up to the combine with like a completely different body type. He went from like a skinny guy to quads that were 4 times as big as they were during the season, and he was like 5'11", 215. It's like, that is not the guy that played football in Florida.
Right. A 206-pound guy at 5'9", let's call him 5'10", is big.
Water weight. You get a lot of water weight.
Right, but he wouldn't be that now. He would be that like the day of the combine.
So that's one of my favorite combine stories. I'm going to name drop a long snapper right now.
Long snapper?
Yeah. Zach Diossi.
Okay.
Long snapper for the Giants.
Uh-huh.
My workout partner back in 2007.
Yeah.
And he knew that the Patriots, the local New England Patriots, were kind of on him. The Giants, and that was when those teams had those, we need our linebackers to be at least 250.
Yeah.
And I think he was weighing in at like 247. He was chugging water before the weigh-in just to get to 250 because the Giants and the Patriots and some other teams had this cutoff where they wanted guys 250 plus. He weighed in at 250 because of it and got drafted by the Giants in the 4th round as a linebacker and then didn't play one snap at linebacker. He's been a long snapper ever since. Made some money. All because of 3 pounds of water weight. So, Kyler Murray, drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yes. I think that there's this degree to which that makes sense at the combine. I'm just saying, given his body shape at the moment, if he is under 5'10", there's no way he plays at 206 or anything like it.
What was Cousins a couple years ago? I didn't realize how slight he is.
Kirk?
Yeah. I mean, somebody said he was playing at like 195 or 202. Okay, let's discuss this. QB durability.
202 was his listed weight.
Yeah, and he might have been under that a couple years ago.
And he's 6'3".
Yeah. QB durability. Everybody's like, oh, you need a big, strong guy that could take hits.
Uh-huh.
QB durability has more to do with playing style than size. We see Cam Newton get hurt all the time. Carson Wentz the last 2 years, Big Ben, Andrew Luck are the perfect prototype. Joe Flacco, prototypical, perfectly sized quarterbacks to handle the NFL game. It's about playing style and taking hits.
But also, just being large doesn't necessarily mean that you're better equipped to actually take the hit.
No, it doesn't.
Like, just having more things to get hit doesn't make those things inherently stronger.
No, I don't think so either. So then, out of the slight guys who have gotten hurt, like RG3 and Michael Vick, it's because they were terrible at not taking hits. Right. They didn't know how to slide.
Vick played in a suicidal manner every play.
But guys like Russell Wilson, who does have this like...
I mean, he's pretty stocky.
He's stocky, right? But he has a knack for not getting hit. Colin Kaepernick had a knack. You got to...
Also pretty big. I mean,
but he had a knack. These guys didn't take big hits.
Right.
They knew... I'm talking about guys that ran
but
or
he's
run.
A pretty big guy.
I understand that. But I'm saying their playing style allows them to not take big hits because Kaepernick had this knack to know how fast he needed to run out of bounds. Wilson has the same idea. They know how to avoid hits. Vic, RG3, they don't. Lamar Jackson's not good at avoiding hits. I do worry about his durability. Again, not because he's slight, but because he just, just gets in there like a running back.
But he is, and he hasn't broken down yet.
Not yet.
And he's been running to the ground for his first half year.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
over time, we'll see what happens.
I have yet to see evidence that suggests simply being larger makes you inherently more durable.
Well, that was like Jared Goff when he came out, weighed 215, and it's like, oh, he's frail.
Right.
But Carson Wentz, big, strapping young man.
245 or whatever.
And Wentz has missed the end of the last 2 seasons.
And had a career injury history in college. Like, he was the guy with the injury history.
Right.
Had more of an injury history in the NFL. Had a better offensive line protecting him in college than Goff, whose line was trying to kill him at Cal. And Goff is the guy that's fine, and Wentz is made of glass.
So there you go.
Yeah. So just because, anyway, all these things are like the idea that, yes, Kyler Murray's size is legitimately unprecedented. There is, if he comes in at under 5'10", there will be no quarterback with which to compare him. Like Doug Flutie is the closest, and Doug Flutie was like 5'10" or whatever, right? So it's completely uncharted territory. But because it's uncharted territory, one, we've conclusively dismissed the idea that being short leads to batted passes. Doesn't. Never has, never will. Yes, it's hard to see over offensive linemen, but you don't get more batted passes at the line if you're short than if you're tall. Last year, the two quarterbacks that led, Joe Flacco led the NFL in batted passes, right? Joe Flacco 6'6".
I don't think anybody cares about the batted passes.
They do. Kirk Cousins led the NFL in batted pass rate, right? And basically, if you put it on a piece of paper, no matter what level you're looking at, there's no correlation at all between size and batted passes. So 1, dismissed.
Yep.
2, you're small, you're going to get hurt. You're too small. Can't play at that level, you're going to get hurt. Again, there doesn't appear to be a correlation. Big guys get hurt just as much as small guys. It's way more about how often are you exposing yourself to stupid hits. I mean, what you need to ask yourself is your quarterback, regardless of his size, going to get hit during the course of the season? And the answer to every single quarterback is yes, to which any given hit can end your quarterback season if you're unlucky. Derek Carr was hit less frequently than any quarterback in the league a couple of years ago. The one sack that his left tackle gave up that year broke his ankle and derailed his career. Now, unless you're telling me that your offensive line can completely protect your quarterback, he will not be hit for the entirety of this game or the entirety of this season, then how big he is doesn't matter because any one of those hits can end his year.
I mean, so it's like, look at Jimmy Garoppolo. The reason why he got hit, or why he ended his career, is because
ended his career?
Let's try this again.
That's breaking news. Now we're scooping Schefter.
The reason why Jimmy G's season ended last year, got that now?
Yeah.
Is because instead of choosing to just run out of bounds, he chose to take an extra hit. The reason why he hurt his shoulder when he was in New England is because he was rolling to his left, and where I think the smart quarterbacks just say, okay, I'm going to throw this one away. You time it up. Like, I'm going to throw this one away before I get hit. He kind of tried to wind up, make a play down the field, and took the hit that smashed him on his shoulder. The same thing happened to Matt Moore with the Dolphins that same year. It's that split-second decision where throw it away quickly, save myself, versus try to make a play knowing that I'm essentially giving the defense a free shot where he's going to slam me on my shoulder or collarbone. So you see players do that. It's kind of their fault at that point.
Yeah.
So Garoppolo not running out. Garoppolo's done this twice now. And I don't think this has anything to do with his frame. I think it has to do with his decision-making within the game to take a hit or to make a play.
Well, also, this one, it wasn't even the hit that did it.
Well, it was
the cut.
But he still should have just ran right out of bounds.
I agree. But the point is, he planted, tried to make a cut upfield,
Right.
and his knee exploded. Now, he's 6'2", 225, and his knee just exploded for no reason. Like, again, you can't say, well, if only he'd been bigger, like his knee would have maintained structural integrity when he tried to cut upfield.
And he made the same play, essentially, that Drew Bledsoe did when he got hurt. Bledsoe had a perfect frame.
The point is, any given hit can break a quarterback. Any given cut in the ground can make your knee just implode. This is a game where people get hurt. And at the moment, I've yet to see any evidence of being a small quarterback will make you get hurt more often than being a big quarterback. So if you're looking at Kyler Murray and saying, well, he's too small to play at the next level, that's fine. I said this before, that there are people that are going to say, he's too small for me. I don't want to take that risk. To which I would answer, okay, that's a legitimate opinion, but you need to be able to articulate why. And if your answer is he's going to get passes batted at the line or he's going to get hurt more, I would ask you to prove it. Because so far, honestly, there's no evidence that says that.
I think it's more field vision than anything. I think people have a bigger issue with
and
field
that's fine.
vision.
But again, you simply need to articulate what your problem is and then prove to me on tape that it's a problem. Because it isn't so far.
So to be fair, Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, your classic 6-foot quarterbacks that have had success. You got to throw Baker in there in a minute. But Brees and Wilson do have this unique style that mitigates their height a little bit, right? Brees is always like, it's trying to stand as tall as possible, trying to see over everybody. He's also just at this special level of anticipation and accuracy and all that stuff, right? That offsets a lot of those things. So he has to mitigate his height a little bit. Wilson, while he can play from the pocket, still does most of his damage outside the numbers, and he does a ton of damage outside the pocket, right? So that's his way of kind of dealing with that. He doesn't have the best vision in the middle of the field.
I think Wilson is going to be a great comp for Kyler Murray with that style. Because, so Baker got tagged last season for being an undersized quarterback. Baker's 6'1", 215. So you're talking about 3-4 inches in height difference between Baker and Kyler Murray, and whatever that ends up being, a chunk of extra size, right? Girth. So Baker was tagged to being undersized, and he's a completely different size human being from Kyler Murray. But so the same is true with Russell Wilson, obviously, right? Wilson's what, 5'10", but he's 215, so he's a hell of a lot bigger, whatever. My point is that Kyler Murray is probably going to have to play in a similar way to Russell Wilson in terms of manufacturing himself some better vision. So yeah, if you're 5'9", you're not going to see over a guy that's 6'5" standing in your face. And if you have a bad offensive line, they're going to be standing a lot closer to your face than they would be if they were a good offensive line. But the way Russell Wilson bails from clean pockets a lot of times, or just simply moves around behind the line of scrimmage, opens him up a bunch of vision lanes that other quarterbacks don't have. Like a 6'5" guy working from the pocket can at times have a much narrower field of vision because the things closing in around him and everyone in front of him is 6'5" as well. He's now working from a very tight enclosed space with not much vision. Russell Wilson does a little dance, bails out to the flat, and suddenly he's got a wide open field in front of him. Now, okay, he's closed off some options that he would have had otherwise because now he's on one side of the field or whatever. But we've seen from Kyler Murray's tape that he can do a lot of those things. And whereas some of these quarterbacks that have that freaky level of athleticism will start to move, and the second they start to move, they're running. They're going to pick it up with their legs. And they're not interested. He does a lot of that Russell Wilson stuff where he starts moving around, which just spaces out everybody. It makes them start to run around to chase him and opens up holes. But then he takes advantage of those holes. He slides into the open space and delivers a pass. I think you'll see Kyler Murray at the next level play a lot like Russell Wilson in terms of sometimes getting himself into trouble, but more often than not, essentially buying himself vision that other quarterbacks can't.